Ladies and gentlemen, hailing from Cleveland, Ohio, I give you BVO.
Oh, we boxing? Yeah, we boxing. I need that belt like it ain't no other option. So we punching and weaving and blocking. Defeat ain't an option. Let them know, shoot a video, put it on BVO. Let them know, every time I punch, it's a heavy blow. BVO, bound to hit like bricks cause it was set in stone. Let them know, I ain't getting body, but I'ma hit this flow. Yeah, way more than a show, this is BVO.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy BVO Boxing in the house, man, with the Puerto Rican Prince, man, the great debater, G Free. What's going on, man? How you feeling?
I'm good. What's good?
Good, man. Good. We got to talk about this, man. This boy Boots Ennis is ducking again, man. I'm just trying to figure out why is he running from Virgil Ortiz, man. He didn't put his running shoes on. Virgil Ortiz has called him out. They sent the offer. He turned it down. Why does he not want to give Virgil Ortiz an opportunity?
I didn't hear him say he didn't want to give him an opportunity. I heard him say they want to try to unify. If they can't unify, then they move to 54.
Yeah, but Virgil is calling him out right now. I don't see why he's not taking that.
Virgil don't have a belt right now.
I mean, but what fight can he fight that's bigger than fighting Virgil Ortiz at 54?
You said there is no fight that he's fighting at 54. So what fight is he fighting at 54?
If he fight Virgil Ortiz, that'll be the biggest fight of his career.
No, the biggest fight of his career is unifying the belt.
Yeah, if you want to take the easy way out, but I thought he said he wanted all the best fights.
He said he want to unify the belt, and then if he can't get that, he'll move to 54. So he didn't say he wasn't going to 54. He said if he can't unify the belts at 47, he'll go to 54.
Well, we got Stenio's got a fight coming up, and I believe Mario Barrios is in process. From what I've spoke to someone about, he's gonna be fighting Conor Ben next. So, and we all know Brian Norman Jr., who's the #1 welterweight, has a fight coming up as well. After his hand surgery, he's gonna take probably a softer touch. So, if all the champions are busy, I mean, at this point, why wouldn't he give Virgil Ortiz an opportunity?
I didn't hear Brian Norman Jr. have a fight lined up.
I said most likely he's going to take a tune-up coming off hand surgery.
I didn't hear Brian Norman Jr. have a fight lined up.
I don't know if he. No, I don't think he has. I'm just saying
Okay,
most
so
likely
if he doesn't have a fight lined up, then that fight is available.
I don't think the fight's available off a broken head.
Why? Because you say so?
Pardon me?
Because you say so?
No, not because I say so. Just the history of boxing.
Okay. I don't care what you say, because we heard Brian Norman Sr. come on our channel and said they want the Boots in this fight.
I'm sure. No, I know he wants it. What I'm saying, I'm sure if I was a call saying he could tell me if he's going to do a fight or not. But I'm just saying, just historically in boxing, when someone comes off a hand injury, usually they get what we would call a tune-up. I think he would be entitled to that. What do you think?
No, I don't think he's entitled to a tune-up. I think if they want to do a tune-up, they do a tune-up. I don't think he's entitled. We saw Shakur Stevenson come off a hand surgery, and he went straight after Williams Zepeda. So what's the difference between Shakur going right after the smoke than Brian Norman going right after the smoke?
Shoot to my brother Piero pulling up. I get what you're saying, Free. I'm just more or less saying historically. I could be wrong. I'm not speaking for the team. I'm just saying historically, if you're coming off of bad hands, surgical hand, I would think you would take a tune-up.
I mean, I'm trying to figure out how you got that Boots ducked Virgil, because from the last reports that I seen was Virgil and Boots both verbally agreed to have the fight.
They want the fight at 147. That's the problem. They trying to do some nasty work and bring Virgil down to 147.
Virgil, like I said, last time I checked, Virgil and Boots verbally agreed. So
I'm
if
going.
they
I'm
wanted
going.
that,
I'm
if
going
they
off.
wanted that,
I'm going off a report. I can't give up my source. I'm going off a report directly from a source
okay.
that
If they
told me.
if they wanted that 47 and Virgil agreed to that, what's the problem?
No, Virgil didn't agree to 47. That's the thing. He can't make 47. We didn't see him, get rhabdo, almost pass away trying to make 47. So I'm trying to figure out, like, I don't know, man. I just don't like how Boots is moving, man. If you feel like you were that guy, man, why are you trying to have every advantage? I think the problem is simple with Boots. He signed with Cameron Duncan, who's a very quiet guy. You know that Boots and his father, Bozy, wanted to bring him along slow. And now you got a guy who's considered dangerous without any real experience against top tier talent. So I don't know what to do in this case. I would think you would do whatever it takes to get the Virgil Ortiz, wouldn't
I
you?
mean, you quick to call it a duck, and we don't even know if the if he listen, you quick to call it a duck,
Hold on, static
huh?
free. Your audio's off.
Hold on.
My man Pearl put in the chat. He said Boots tweeted himself he didn't agree to anything. So that's a good thing too. Go ahead, free. Is your audio cleared up? Let me see if he got his audio together. While Free's working on his audio, I'm gonna keep going. I just say this, guys.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's a million times better. Go ahead. Okay. Let me make sure is my
he
audio
didn't
cool too,
agree.
Piro? He said both your audio is cracking. Okay, is my audio better now too? I don't know if my man Piro can hear me, but if audio is better, just hit me with a one. He said, "No, you're good. Okay, cool. Now we good. Go ahead, Free."
Was you quick to call it a duck, and we haven't seen Virgil go to 54 and sign a fight with somebody else. I mean, we didn't see Boots go to 54 and sign to fight somebody else. Last time I checked, Boots is at 47. Boots go to 54 and fight somebody else. I can't say he ducked Virgil Ortiz. I know that's a fight that I know that's a fight that Virgil said he was willing to fight. So unless I see Boots at 54 fighting somebody else, I can't say.
I don't know. My man Free trying to get his audio together. Oh, my man Firo dropped in the link. Yeah. Let me look that up. He dropped the link to where it's at. I get what Free's trying to say because we know Free's going to defend him, but the fact is this, man. Great fighters want to get the best fights. Say what you want. Virgil Ortiz, in my opinion, won a very, very close fight that he almost lost against Birchek. And I think that in that case, I mean, why wouldn't you see them guys fight next? And we know from the start that Boots Ennis has 30 something fights, more fights than Errol Spence, and he still hasn't fought anybody of note. I mean, he really, to me, has been a grave disappointment. This isn't the fighter that we were hearing about, the little Roy Jones, all that. I mean, none of that has come to be true because the dude just really, I hate to say it like that, he's not that guy. He's not that guy, and you see it all the time now with these guys where you'll think they're good, you'll think they can fight a certain way, and they just can't. So I don't know. You back, Free?
Hold on.
Okay. And a cool thing is this. It's the cool thing. Virgil Ortiz is still young. He got an opportunity to continue with his career. And I'll say this: you don't got to wait on a guy like Boots Ennis. No one even knows who he is anyway. So that's okay. You didn't get that fight, but we all know that you wanted it. We know that you wanted it. All the propaganda, that his trainer put out, Robert Garcia put out, we need 48 months. Guess what? Brother Robert was wrong. Things happen. People were wrong. And I just want to give Virgil full credit for letting it be known, hey, I want to fight. Okay, my man Free switched on this thing. I want to give him full credit for saying, I want to fight. I want to fight you, Boots. And he been saying Boots' name, and I'm looking at this article that Piro sent me. he definitely put that he didn't agree to anything. And you know what? That's smart of him because you don't want to step to a monster like like a Virgil Ortiz, man, and get hurt bad. So I respect that. What you think, Free?
No, no. Like I said, we heard his father already come out and said they want to try to unify the belts. If he can't get a unification, then he'll move to 54. I'm not gonna say this man ducked anybody until I see him at 54 trying to fight somebody else other than Virgil Ortiz or one of the top guys. You said Jerome Bucinas haven't fought anybody of note. Virgil hasn't fought anybody of note neither. So, I mean, neither one of these guys fought anybody that you would say, okay, these guys are definitely moving in the right direction by fighting all the top guys. Neither one of them has fought the top guys yet. Now, I don't know what Virgil is going to do in his next fight. I know he didn't look good in his last fight, and Jerron didn't look good in his last fight. So neither one of them looked good in their last fight. But to say that Jerron is ducking Virgil and he's not even at the weight class, that's crazy. I mean, you was quick to say Virgil didn't duck Jerron when his team came out and said they need 4 years before they fight Jerron. You was quick to jump on him like, nah. That wasn't Virgil, that was his team. Virgil didn't say that. That was Robert Garcia. But we clearly see that he didn't make no efforts of trying to get in there with daggone Jerron. He didn't even fight Stanionis. I mean, it is what it is. Fat Boy had to move up to 54. He can't make 47.
You cold, but man.
Yeah, Stanionis sitting on the sideline for like a year and a half trying to make that fight.
Yeah, I'll say this, man. Of course, Free's gonna give you, and I like when we have thoughtful Free, but that was a pretty thoughtful answer. But I think what Free missed, as he always does, is that Virgil Ortiz just fought Beercheck. Beercheck can fight. Beercheck is good. That's not no bum dog. Like, I don't know if you ever heard of Beercheck, but Beercheck's a good fighter, man. And for him to, I didn't like that he went tooth and nail with Beercheck, but I really give him credit because Beercheck can really fight. We haven't seen Bruce Anderson there with nobody as good as a Beercheck.
When
did you
see Beercheck fight?
I seen him fight one time before. He your typical
Soviet Union fighter. Who was calling for Beercheck? Who was calling for Beercheck in the big fights? What analyst? What fan? What you know that was saying? Yeah, they need to fight Beercheck.
Beercheck and Madrimov both were guys that Jamel Charlo had.
I didn't ask you who they are.
No, I'm giving you a synopsis of who these guys are. They both were supposed to be fighting.
I didn't ask you who they was. I said who said that they wanted to see Beercheck fight. That's what I'm asking you, because you act like Beercheck was this top guy that everybody was ducking, or a lot of people should be fighting. Who was calling for Beercheck? Beercheck is unknown. He's not anybody. Don't nobody know who Beercheck is.
Free, they do know who he is. He's supposed to be fighting Jamel.
No, they don't. They know who he is now because he fought Virgil, and Virgil looked bad in that fight. They didn't know who Beercheck was before that.
Oh, so Free, they didn't know that Madrimov and Beercheck were guys that Jamel had on his.
Nobody knew who Madrimov was. Nobody knew who Beercheck was prior to the last fight.
Oh, but
nobody knew who they was prior to the last fight.
Beercheck. Salute to my man, BC, man, the darkest man in the tri-state area. Salute to you, BC. Appreciate you coming through, man. But Free, you know what I realized about you, man? Even when we get thoughtful, Free, I swear, bro, you don't be looking at how cats we already set to do their thing. They was both about to fight Jamel for his belts. They both were. They were on the mandatory list. No, now you know Jamel Charlo's my guy.
Like I said,
they was on his mandatory list.
You said they was a what?
They was on his mandatory list. Guys, he was going to have to fight for his mandatory.
Oh, who mandatory list?
When Jamel was undisputed. Right when he went up to fight Canelo, he had like 2 or 3 guys he had on his mandatory list. Majimov was WBA. Beercheck was WBO, I believe, because I believe if I can remember right,
Beercheck wasn't nobody. Beercheck wasn't nobody's mandatory.
he was in the
And neither was
WBO.
Magnumov. They was not anybody's mandatory.
They were going to be mandatories that were getting ready to get called up for Jamel, because Jamel had a bunch of mandatories after winning the belt.
Well, we already know that the WBO can name anybody in the top 10 as the mandatory. It doesn't necessarily have to be the number 1. They can name anybody in the top 10 as the mandatory. So just because you number 1 doesn't mean you're going to be the mandatory. We seen daggone Virgil be the number 1 contender in the WBO, and they called Sean Porter as the mandatory. Sean Porter was number 2. Virgil was number 1. They called Sean Porter as the mandatory. So it doesn't mean because you're number 1, you're going to be called as the mandatory, especially in the WBO. I don't know what happened with BBO. I think his audio messed up. But I'm not gonna say this man ducked anybody until he go to 54 and announce a fight at 54 other than one of the top guys at 54. So I'm not going to put that duck on anybody, especially if you're not in the weight class. That's like me saying daggone that's like me saying daggone Oscar Valdez duck Tank Davis because Tank Davis said he want to fight Oscar Valdez, and Oscar Valdez decided to fight Navarrete. No, Oscar Valdez didn't duck Tank Davis. He's not in the weight class. How can we just say guys from the? I mean, I mean,
hold on. Don't you say that?
Some people say that Jamal ducked David Benavidez, but I wasn't on that train saying that Jamal ducked David Benavidez when they wasn't in the weight class.
But let me ask you this: you the same guy who said that Triple G junked Andre Ward, and Andre Ward was always at 68.
Yeah, because Andre Ward said I come down. You said you would beat everybody from 68 on down. He said I come down to your weight and fight you. He said I come down. I didn't hear Virgil say he'll come down to Jerome Business at 47. You just told me Virgil said he can't make 47.
I don't think he can, man.
Didn't you just say that? Didn't you just say that? So you can't use Andre Ward's scenario in the same scenario with this. You did. You said who never said that?
I said what I'm saying is I didn't say that Virgil said that because I don't think he can get. I think Virgil is barely making 54, so I don't know about him going.
Yeah, so you can't use Andre Ward. You can't use Andre Ward's scenario because Virgil didn't say I come down to 47 and fight you. He didn't say that. We know he can't make it at 47. He had 2 hospital visits trying to make it at 47 because he was a fat boy trying to fight in a smaller man's weight class.
Hold on,
we know that he can't make it at 47.
Shout out to my man being boxing. Shout out to my man Bentley. He said Boots didn't duck Virgil. Well, he said Boots stand at 47.
The man said I will. Yeah, he said if he stay at 47, it's not ducking. He said I want to unify. If I cannot unify, then I will go to 54. So, like I said, until I see him at 54 fighting somebody that's a lesser caliber than a Virgil Ortiz or somebody in the top level, because he's a champion, he can go right up there. Unless he finds somebody that's a lesser caliber than Virgil Ortiz, I'm not saying that man ducking Virgil Ortiz because he's at 47. oh, he was going to fight Triple G. Yeah, Andre Ward said, I'll come down and fight you at your weight class. The same way you said Canelo is trying to fight daggone Bivol, but Bivol is ducking him. When Bivol said, I come to your weight class to fight you, I already fought you at my weight class. I beat you at my weight class. Now I'm going to come down to your weight class and fight you for your belts. Canelo said, no, I'm not doing that. I want to come back up to 54. I want to come back up to 75.
Hold on.
No, you ain't got to come. I'm going to make it easier for you.
Hold on. I got BN Boxing. He been in the comments capping. I'm gonna drop the link and cook you live, bro. You keep capping, man. I'm gonna have to cook you live, man. It's like I'm about to finish cooking free. But I'm gonna tell y'all this, man. The thing that you're missing is this.
It can't cook me, nigga.
It's about greatness. And at the end of the day, we do not see Boots Ennis pushing for greatness, man. You see Virgil going in there with a monster like Boacek, fighting tooth and nail, become a WBA interim champion. I mean, come on, dog. This is what it's all about. You go in there to be great. He looked horrible. Looked like dog crap his last fight. So I don't know what Boots is doing, but he's not that guy. I keep trying to tell y'all, he's not that guy. I got Brian Norman Jr.
So
stop.
So you telling me going to fight somebody who doesn't have a belt and going after all of the belts is not chasing greatness? So if he goes after somebody who doesn't have the belt, if he goes after somebody who doesn't have a belt versus going after all of the belts, it's chasing greatness by going for the guy that doesn't have a belt than it is for going for the guys that's in your weight class that have all the belts. That's not chasing great. So now you saying undisputed doesn't. That's because you're undisputed doesn't mean you're one of the top guys. Thank you for admitting. I told you it always come back. It always come back.
That was a horrible comparison that you just made, Free, but that's okay.
Thank you. It always come back.
Hold on. You the one that said belts don't matter.
Back.
Free, you said belts don't matter. I've never said belts don't matter.
I told you, and I will stand on what I said because I've always said it. Belts do not matter to me. They matter to the fighters. I will always stand on that because they don't matter to me. But you're not going to tell me that if he's going for all of the belts, that's not chasing greatness. Going to fight somebody who never fought for a belt is chasing greatness. That's chasing great. Somebody who never fought a belt. So Tank Davis going to try to fight Loma and Shakur and Denny is not chasing greatness. Tank Davis fighting Keyshawn is chasing greatness. That doesn't make sense at all.
Keyshawn's a monster. And when Keyshawn becomes the a WBO champion, I want to see what happens then. I think
that doesn't make sense at all. So Tank Davis, so Tank Davis fighting Keyshawn is better than fighting Keyshawn. That's what you're telling me.
I want to see him fight Keyshawn and Lamont Roach. At least he's in the division.
A better fight than Tank Davis going for all of the belts.
But you see how you brought that up? I wanted to go. See, I wanted to bring that up. I wasn't gonna bring it up, but now
that's basically what you said. Because last time I checked, Keyshawn called for Tank Davis as well. Keyshawn called for Tank Davis. So if Tank Davis go for all the belts, he's not chasing greatness because he ain't going after that young monster Keyshawn. That's what you just. That's what you're saying.
Hold on. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I like how you doing. Your Puerto Rican tricks don't work on me, Free. Your Puerto Rican tricks don't work on me. They don't work on me. They don't work on me.
That's funny, dog.
But I'll tell you guys this. Don't let Free and his Puerto Rican tricks fool you. He knows for a fact that Virgil Ortiz is an absolute monster. He's in his weight. He's closer to his weight class. If they would get in the ring, nobody wants to put their money on the wood and say that Boots can beat Virgil. So let's stop this game. Y'all know he ain't got a chance against Virgil Ortiz. It's just a fact. It's a fact. Virgil Ortiz has fought.
I don't know anything. I don't know what you talking about.
Only thing I will say about Virgil, it kind of let me down that he decided not to take the Terrence Crawford fight at 47. He moved out the way and gave that fight to Sean Porter. Other than that, That's the only thing I
didn't
don't
move
understand with
out
him.
the way. I told you the WBO. He didn't move out the way. The WBO can call whoever they want as the mandatory in the top
No, I'm
10.
saying they gave him a chance to activate the mandatory,
Call
and he
whoever they
chose
want
not
in
to.
the. They
I'm talking
didn't. No,
about back
the
then.
fighters don't activate mandatories. The fighters don't activate mandatories. Y'all
That's what the
don't know what
rules
y'all
say.
talking about when y'all say that.
That's what the rules
Fighters
say.
don't activate. The fighters. The rules don't say nothing like that.
It
The
calls
rules don't say
initiate.
anything like that.
It
The
talks about
rules say
initiating that
the
mandatory. You
rules
can
say
initiate the mandatory.
there is no such thing. The rules don't say nothing like that. There's no such thing. I don't know what rules you was reading, but it wasn't none of the sanctioning body rules because it doesn't say that. The rules say you are not the mandatory until we'll appoint a mandatory. There's no thing that a fighter can go activate a mandatory. A fighter can submit a petition to be called a mandatory. They don't activate anything.
Let me look this up. I'm looking it up right now. Keep cooking while I look this up. I'm about to
No,
cook.
I just told you what the rules say. They can submit a petition to be called a mandatory. They don't activate anything. The sanctioning body calls you as the mandatory. All they can do is submit a petition. Anybody in the top 10 could submit a petition to be called a mandatory. The sanctioning body, whatever belt, whatever sanctioning body you're in, they appoint the mandatory. You can submit a petition to be called. The sanctioning body appoints who they want to be the mandatory. It's usually the number one, but it doesn't necessarily have to be the number one.
Hold on, let me look it up. WBO. He's WBO, right? Let me look.
You can look it up all you want.
It
doesn't matter. You can look up any one of them. They all say the same thing.
Mandatory.
I read the daggone rules to the sanctioning bodies. All they can do is submit a petition.
That's what I just said, Free. I just said
that's not activating a mandatory. You said they can activate a mandatory. They can't. All they can do is that's not the same thing. Because activating a mandatory means you said you go to the sanctioning body. I want to be the mandatory, and the mandatory is granted. No, that's not. Because if that was the case, everybody can go and say, I want to be the mandatory now. No, all they can do is submit a petition. Just because you submit a petition doesn't mean you're going to be called the mandatory. It's whatever the sanction body decide they want.
Hold on one second. I'm trying to find it.
And Virgil and Sean Porter never submitted a petition to be the mandatory. Sean Porter was saying he didn't want to fight Bud Crawford. He was moved down from the number 1 to the number 2. The WBO decided to call him as the mandatory. Virgil was the number 1. Virgil never submitted a petition, and Sean Porter never submitted a petition.
Oh my God! This is making me mad. I cannot find this, man.
Because you ain't gonna find a way where you say activate mandatory. You can look all day. You ain't gonna see nowhere where they say they can activate a mandatory. All they can do is submit a petition. That same way when Terrence Crawford moved up to 54, he submitted his petition to be called as the WBO mandatory. Same way he moved up to 47, he submitted a petition to be called what's the guy name that beat Manny Pacquiao? He submitted a petition to be called his mandatory. You just submit a petition to be called a mandatory. You can't activate a mandatory. But like I said, I'm not saying Jerron, Duck, Virgil, or anybody else unless they were sitting down to negotiate the fight, and he said, "No, I don't want the fight. I'd rather go fight this guy instead." Last time I checked, Jerron don't have a fight lined up right now. So how are we going to say Jerron ducked Virgil and there's no fight lined up for Jerron? What fight he got lined up? The BVO wanna put on the daggone sombrero and pom poms and said, I told you Virgil was the man. I told you Virgil was the man. Virgil is a good fighter, but he ain't no monster. He a good fighter. He ain't a monster. I don't know what happened to BVO. He probably got stuck trying to find an activation button, but he'll pop back up in a minute. But look, let's talk about what we're going to see happen with this whole Shakur situation. I want to know who Shakur is going to fight. It seemed like Shakur just tweeted out that he signed a contract. I'm gonna pull it up because he just tweeted out early today.
Hold on, I looked it up. I looked it up. The Puerto Rican technically is right. It does. The WBA has autonomy to choose. They say it has autonomy to choose who the next mandatory is, even if they petition. So he's right. Technically, he's right.
Exactly. Exactly. All you could do is send a petition. You can't activate anything. You could just submit a petition. And in the WBO, anybody in the top 10 could submit a petition because anybody in the top 10 could be called as the mandatory. We've seen that Bud Crawford fought guys who wasn't number one, who were the mandatory. So anybody could be called as the mandatory in the WBO, as long as you're in the top 10. But Shakur said, I signed a contract today for it. I believe he said, but in my opinion, don't believe everything you see on social media. Who knows what's all I can do is my part, and I believe it when I see it. So basically what he's saying is he signed a contract to fight Kid Austin, but he don't know if they're gonna sign their part on the contract. So I don't know. I don't know if that fight is going to happen. I told y'all I don't think that the fight will happen because Kid Austin is ranked number 40 in the WBC. I don't know if the WBC will sanction that fight because in order for him to fight somebody so low in the sanctioning body, on the ranking system in the sanctioning body, he would have to get permission from the WBC for that fight to even happen because they look at he's supposed to be fighting somebody in the top 15 in the WBC. He's supposed to fight somebody in the top 15. So in order for him to fight somebody below the top 15, he has to get the okay from the sanctioning body. So I don't know if that fight will happen. And it might not be anything Kid Austin or Shakur can do.
Yeah, I think no matter what, I think the fight most likely will happen, because I believe Shakur is due for voluntary. So with a voluntary defense, I'm sure he can defend it that way. But no matter how it goes, whether we get the fight or we don't, I want to give Kid Austin a lot of credit for wanting to fight, and shout out to his father, man, for really saying what you want to hear from a boxing dad. Hey, give my son an opportunity. Let's see what he do. And that's what it's all about. Get him an opportunity. He said Shakur better off sitting on the sidelines until Tab fight and get in with Tank. Oh, to Tank fight and get in with Tank. Well, I'm going to tell you guys right now, I doubt he ever fights Tank. I don't think he wants that fight. And you say, why you say that, BBO? I say that because he's done everything but accept the fight. The fact that Shakur talking this stuff that he wants to fight Tank is just like when Tank used to talk about fighting Devin Haney. He never wanted it. At the end of the day, Tank Davis sent the offer. They admitted that he sent the offer. If somebody as big as Tank sends you an offer, you accept that offer, man. But he didn't, so he don't want the fight. So there's no need to waste our brain power on something that'll never happen because it won't happen because Shakur don't want it, and that's okay. We seen the same thing. I think Tank getting some of his medicine back for ducking Devin Haney all that time. When Devin Haney was WBA super champion, he could have easily petitioned to get that fight, and he didn't. So I mean, you can't make this stuff up, man. You get what you reap what you sow, man. You want to duck people, now people ducking you. That's what we seeing. We seen Tank all those years duck. My bad.
What?
He ducked all those years. He kept ducking Devin Haney, where Devin Haney was undisputed #1 guy in the division that you're in. He was #1 in the division. You didn't even want to see him. So now you're getting your taste of your own medicine where you got guys ducking you constantly. Loma, who you waited 7 years to give a doggone contract to, he ducked you. What's the other guy? I can't think of the one guy's name. Piro said he already had a fight. He ducked you. So you just getting your own medicine back, man. So all the Tank stands and stuff, y'all got to just kind of deal with what it is, man. He said
No,
Shakur Paul was a
do you
big
think?
bag by not
Do
taking
you
that
think?
Devin undisputed fight. Go ahead.
Do you think Tank is worried about these guys ducking him? Tank ain't worried about these guys ducking him. Tank is just trying to please y'all fans by fighting these guys y'all say y'all want to see him in there with. That's all he's doing. Tank is still getting paid. He's fighting Lamont Roach. Lamont Roach is still going to be a big payday for Tank Davis. It's still going to be a big payday for Tank Davis. He don't care about these guys ducking him. He just letting you know these guys ain't what y'all say is. They say they call my name. I send them an offer, and these guys run the other way. All he doing is proving his point. That's why he was fighting guys. He was the fight that he was fighting. These guys don't really want it like that.
But he waited seven freaking years to send Lomachenko a contract, free. 7 years.
He didn't wait 7 years to send Loma anything. He told Loma in 2019 we can fight. Loma said, "Oh, this man want to fight me on pay-per-view. I'm not fighting him on pay-per-view. He ain't never do anything. He ain't never been a headline on pay-per-view." That was Loma that was ducking in 2019. Not Tank Davis. That was Loma. He said that in 2019. Loma turned the fight down in 2019.
Well, let me say this real quick. I want to thank everybody. We just hit 4,500 subscribers. We almost at 3 million views. I want to say thank you to each and every person. Please smash the like button, man. We doing some big things over here, BBO Boxing. I just want to thank everybody for your support, for your love, man. I thank you guys so much. And speaking of that, I got my OG in the house. What's going on, Crush? How you feeling, man? I think the grumpy OG might be asleep. But that being said, man, thank you guys. Thank you. I can't say thank you enough for giving brother from Cleveland an opportunity, man, to entertain you guys each and every day. We almost at monetization, so keep watching the videos, keep supporting, man. Smash those like buttons, man. We trying to get there. We trying to get to the top, and we can't do it without you guys. And just remember, they said we couldn't do it, and now look at us, man. We, like I said, right now we are at 4507. And I just want to send a shout out to each and every person that's been supporting, pushing this, helping us push this train forward, man, because that's what we do it for, man. We want to get better. We want to give you guys what we need. My man B. Corbin said, get on with it, N-word. I'll say this, B. Corbin, man. One thing about you, man, you don't know nothing about boxing, bro. And I understand that. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. I don't expect you to know nothing about boxing. This is a whole different sport than what you used to. I know you grew up playing tennis. I think you're from Brooklyn Beach, so you grew up playing tennis. But like I said, one thing that's so exciting about the sport of boxing is we got a lot of good guys coming up. He said you ain't telling people how you duck me. Hold on. I ain't never ducked you, B. Corbin. I ain't never ducked you, bro. I don't know what you talking about. You never want to see me in no debate. Don't come in here talking crazy because I'm skinny, bro. I don't play that. I duck some people's stuff. I don't play that, bro. Hold on one second. I don't play that, man. My man said I ducked him. But let me ask you this, man. And when you watch the sport of boxing, you can't tell me you don't feel the excitement of what's going on, man. At least I do. because, man, I think for the first time, man, we really are getting some of the best fights. And I'm excited about it. So I don't know about you guys. I'm excited about it. I really am. I'm excited about it. I think boxing's heading in a great direction. And I agree with you, Billy. I think Shakur really fumbled the bag when he didn't fight Devin Haney for undisputed. Devin Haney put it out there. He didn't want to fight him, but Devin Haney got ducked a lot. I mean, it is what it is. Devin was one of those guys who kept getting ducked. So it don't surprise me to see that, he didn't get certain fights at 35. He just got ducked. He said it's sad when even you had to wait for that in the first place. I think the crazy part is that would have been a really good fight. But I think the underlying thing is I think Shakur and Devin are really, really close. I don't think they'll fight. I think they're a lot like Riddick and Mike Tyson. And you probably won't see them fight because they are such good friends. But you never know. There's too many different politics. I think the politics don't really matter because the fighters are the boss. Oscar told you this on the Clap Black Thursdays. I think I want to say it was 2 weeks ago, that they only move as the fighters let them move, and the fighters are truly the boss at the end of the day. So we'll see what happens. We know for a fact that Oscar De La Hoya is one of the best promoters in boxing. All his fighters get opportunities, man. I don't necessarily like how he treats his black fighters, to be totally honest. I think how he's trying to talk about Kid Austin, I think it's a little unfair. That's just my opinion. Shout out to my man Temp 3. He was saying that he thought it was a good critique, but I don't think you should critique the fighter in that way if he's trying to get a belt. And I just think it's very important to really give guys the opportunity, because Julio Cesar Chavez gave Oscar his opportunity. Pernell Whitaker gave Oscar his opportunity. So if somebody gave you an opportunity, the least you can do is return the favor, man. The least you can do is return the favor. When you see BBO get up here, you always hear me shout out my man Mace, aka Skinny. They gave me the opportunity. Same thing will come to Just Do. Same thing when it comes to Lost Art of Boxing. I give people love who gave me an opportunity, and I think that's what you do. That's what you do in sports or any type of arena. If someone gives you an opportunity, you say thank you and keep going. But the fact is this.
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that, because your whole collar got turned down now.
Audio jacked up.
Because when we talk about David Benavidez ain't getting the opportunity to fight Canelo Alvarez, he ain't doing nothing. He ain't do nothing to get an opportunity to fight Canelo Alvarez. Now all of a sudden these guys don't got
your audio free. Your audio is messed up.
Hold on, let me restart it.
Okay.
I don't know why I'm doing this.
Get right back. I think that's the most important thing, man, when you're talking about fighting, is to give guys opportunities, man. Oh, my audio too. Let me go in and come back out. 1 second, y'all.
Yeah, you sound a little choppy, bro. How do I sound to you? I sound clear? BC, how I sound, bro? Salute to everybody. How y'all doing, man? BBO audio's messed up, being boxing news. What's going on, y'all? I'm good. All right, cool. That's what's up. So why they get their audio together, man? What's popping? Hey, man, listen. Y'all know I got something to say, right?
That's better. Cool. Check. We back.
You know I got something to say, right?
Oh yeah. Go ahead. Do your thing.
So let me get down to it. All right, listen. Boots is a goddamn duck. Starting off just like that. Whoever don't like it, get over it. I don't care who you are. You can. Hold on, Ryan. He a duck, man. And there's nothing else to say about it. And I denounce it because I don't deal with ducks. So I don't fuck the board no more. What's up, Ryan?
I'm trying to figure out how's he a duck. Who Boots fighting?
What happened?
Who's he fighting?
Who he ain't fighting.
He ain't fighting Virgil.
Who does he have lined up to fight?
You said what?
Who does he have lined up to fight next?
Who Boots? I don't know who he has lined up.
Nobody. That's who he got lined up to fight next. So how y'all saying he's ducking if he doesn't have anybody lined up to fight next? The man said, I want to unify the belts at 47. If I cannot get that, I will move to 54. Last time I checked, I didn't see him not able to get a fight at 47 for unification. We heard Brian Norman Sr. said they want that fight next. So if the man is doing what he said he was going to do, how is he ducking? He's not at 54. Y'all quick to say, put the duck tag on people when there's no opportunity for them to fight at this point. He said, I'm going to fight everybody, all the champions at 47. If I cannot get the champions at 47, then I will go to 54. The man is not at 54. He's at 47. When he get to 54, if he fights somebody else other than Virgil, then you could say he's a duck. But until then, y'all throwing the duck tag way too early.
I mean, I don't know if you want to go. You want to go first, Crush, or you want me to go? I think my man Crush is doing something, but I'll say I think he had to take a phone call. I'll say this, man. What we see Free doing is what we always see. Free is a status quo establishment style boxing fan who doesn't push for big fights. So I understand that he's going to come with this nonsense and say, "Hey, how is Boots ducking?" We know for a fact that we seen Tommy Hitman Hearns go up 5 divisions because he was looking to fight the best. We seen the same with Roberto Duran. He went up for about 5 or 6 divisions to fight the best. When you are a champion and you want to prove yourself, guys would do things like go fight their weight class and then come back down. At the end of the day, he'll fight Virgil, then come back down to 47. But the thing is, he doesn't want to be great. Been in his career, yeah, he got more fights than Errol Spence, and the man still ain't fought nobody. At this point, it's disgusting, man. He said if it's a duck, then Tank is a duck for not fighting Crawford, which is blasphemy. Come on, now being in boxing, that's complete.
That's the same. It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
That's complete cap.
That's the same thing. Crawford said, "I fight Tank Davis."
I don't fight Devin Haney. Come on, bro, stop this.
So Tank is a duck for not taking the Conor Ben fight when Conor Ben said, "I fight Tank Davis." Tank's a duck for that too.
Devin Haney fight. That's why he.
Tank Davis is a duck for not taking the Conor Ben fight as well because they wasn't in the same weight class when Conor Ben said, "I want to fight Tank Davis." They wasn't in the same weight class when Boots said, "I want to fight Tank Davis."
That's that's like almost 3 weight classes away, man. That's a joke.
No, you said it. He's not chasing greatness. When you're a champion, you move up and chase greatness. Tom, you throwing this whole spill. Tommy Hearns went up 5 divisions, so Tank Davis can't go up 2 divisions.
I'll put like this. He said, talking about Abdul Wahid, bro, it gets exhausting. I don't even want to talk about Little Red. He's been a duck for a long time, man. That dude it's 7 years.
I truly believe you don't know what a duck is.
You say you might want to go up. He said you might hold on. He said you want him to go up there. He didn't plan on going up unless he couldn't find the fights. He said Free cooking that dude.
No, you don't know what a duck is. A duck is Loma Cinco. You're sitting down to negotiate the fight, and then you say, "You know what? I'm gonna go spend time with my family."
How was that bad? He came back from war, didn't he? Free froze. My bad. Free got that T-Mobile Nextel plan, so I don't know what happened to Free. He said facts. Free gets cooked every time. I wouldn't say I cook Free every time, but he get cooked a lot. That's a fact. He does get cooked a lot. But I'll say this, man. Matter of fact, I'm gonna drop the link, man. I'm gonna drop the link because y'all punks is talking too crazy. I don't like it. I want y'all to come up here. Y'all got so much to say in the comments, especially my man BN. I just want BN to pull up because he going crazy. If you Free, man, pull up, man, because I'll cook you on this, bro. I'll cook you on this stuff, man. Let me see.
BBO, you ain't cooking nothing, BBO. Stop lying. You
He
ain't
said
cooking
Loma was
anything.
in Ukraine with his shine box. He said,
No, that's what you call a duck. When you're sitting down to negotiate the fight, you got the opportunity to make the fight, and you walk away. That's a duck. Y'all throwing the duck trend way too loosely. Y'all throwing it on every situation when there's not the position for it to be put on a person. The man is not at the weight class. He said, "I want to unify at 47." Once that opportunity shows that it's not there, he said he's going to go to 54. If he goes to 54 and fight somebody other than a champion or Virgil, then you could say, "Oh yeah, he ducked Virgil." Then you could say he ducked Virgil. But until then, no, there's not an opportunity for him to do it just yet. He wants to fight the champions at his division.
being boxing, man, my brother, man, New Orleans Zones, man. What's going on, man? How you feeling, bro?
Man, I'm feeling good, man. I'm just sitting here listening to all this blasphemy, man. D Free is definitely correct. He's definitely correct, man. You gotta understand, man. Boots had 2 fights this year, man. More fights than most fighters. You know that in a year's time. He fought David Aronese and he fought Cameron. Okay? So that's 2 fights. And I listened to my man Greg Hackett cook yesterday, and Greg Hackett said himself. He said that Boots had no parts in the negotiations. For the last 6 months, Boots had been tied up with 2 fights. And we know that. And you know how it is when those guys plan and train for fights. He
Right.
said he just finished fighting, 3 weeks ago. He had no time to even deal or even think about fighting. He said he has been, what he call himself, a regular citizen. He's not even a boxer right now. So as far as plans falling to pieces, he said he had nothing to do with that. I think it's us, the people on the internet and everybody else. We planned to fight for that man. That man didn't plan that fight. That man is trying to clean shop at 147. Brian Norman is on the agenda, not Virgil Ortiz, bro. Let's call it cap a cap. That man did not duck nobody, bro. He would not. I don't see that. I think D Free's correct. Now, if he was to go to 154 and fight Joe Smoke, somebody that we don't even know of, hey,
Mhm.
bro, I'll be the first one to come on here and say he ducked. But until then, we could not accuse him of ducking, man, because he didn't do anything that's duck worthy. And that's my take on that.
So okay. That being said, because I think you made a great point. Um,
BBO, you know you was the one up here advocating, Boots don't want that fight with Brian Norman. Now all of a sudden they said Brian Norman is on deck. Oh no, he need to go up and fight Virgil. Why you throwing on the daggone cap
hold on.
the cape to save Brian
Don't
Norman now? Why you throwing on the cape to save Brian Norman? Let him go fight Brian Norman, unify the belt, and then try to get another unification fight. And if that unification fight falls through, he try to fight the other champion. If that one falls through, then he could go to 54 because the other 2 champions is ducking him. But right now, like I said, Brian Norman Sr. was on our platform, I think it was last week, and he said they want Boots next. Boots already said he wants to unify that belt.
We had Brian Norman Sr. up here, and he said that he wanted that fight.
Okay.
All right. You said it yourself right there then. So why the hell waste your time with Virgil Ortiz if you have a fight in your division?
This is what I'm. This is what I'm saying, bro. This is what I'm saying. I'm saying the man coming off hand surgery, so he needs a tune-up probably.
No, why are you throwing on the cape?
Look at the guy excuses already. He's putting
Why
you're
you throwing on
giving
the
Brian
cape?
Norman
No, Brian
excuses
Senior
already.
didn't say they need a tune-up. They didn't say they need a tune-up. They said they want Boots next. Why are you throwing a tune-up in the middle of a fight? That can happen. I didn't hear nobody from that camp said they need a tune-up next. Just BVO.
I'm giving you my opinion as a friend. I'm just a friend of the family. All I'm doing is giving you my opinion. I think if you had a hand injury, you don't want to get.
Why are you even putting that scenario into play when they didn't put it in play? That's like you saying, "Hey, this girl over here said she gonna sleep with me," and that girl said, "Man, I ain't sleeping with you." Why are you throwing that girl in that situation? She ain't sleeping with you. Why are you putting it in a situation? They didn't say they need a tune-up. They said they want Boots next. You saying he coming off a hand surgery, he gonna need a tune-up. I did not hear that come out of Brian Norman Sr.'s mouth.
He didn't say that. I didn't say he said that. You see what
So
you
what?
doing?
So why are you creating a narrative that they're gonna fight a tune-up and not fight Boots? They not.
If he
They
go
didn't say that.
like this,
And
if he was to fight Boots, in my humble opinion, I think they stop him.
so the same way you said you believe that they're gonna fight a tune-up and they never even said it, is the same way I'm saying you believe that Jerome Boots in his duck and Jerome Boots in is not at 54.
Hold on, let me read a couple of these comments. My man Brian Corbin said Loma was in Ukraine with his shine box. He said Tank said go get your your effing shine box. My man D1 Suta, my man at D1 A Angry White Man Show. He said content creators need this goofy internet. It's just goofy internet. He said sanctions to everybody. Salutations to everyone here. I'm digging my car out of 2 feet of snow. He's salute to my man Green. Like he said, hold on. Let me see.
You said green light. That you must be all the way at the top of the joint because I don't
Yeah,
even see this.
he said does Bud get a he said does Bud got a fight? Virgil should go handle that fight. He dodged a long time ago. Bentley, I think that should be the fight. I'll give you that. I think that should be the fight. We did see Virgil duck out of that spot. So much so that Bud went up to him and said, yo, why didn't you take that fight? I mean, it is what it is. I put like this. I think if Virgil was to go in there and fight Boots, that'd be a good fight. All I'm saying is this with Boots and his you beating these younger guys, nothing for you. If you become undisputed at 147, you won't get credit because they'll say everybody you fought was young and not ready. If you get in there with the youngest champion in boxing, 23-year-old Brian Norman Jr., I think you get stopped. So either way it go, Boots in a tough spot. And I'll put like this, man. I can't wait till Brian Norman Jr. puts hands and feet on, bro. I just can't wait because I'm tired of hearing about this dude. He's not that guy. He's gonna get beat to death, man. It's just that.
Well, I mean, if I'm glad he doesn't have you as his promoter because if he had you as his promoter, he would never unify any belts because he would be fighting all these guys you think he should fight and not unify. So I'm glad you're not the promoter because we can get the unifications now and not have to worry about him going fight somebody who's never fought for a championship. And you want him to go fight somebody who never fought for a championship, but that's chasing greatness.
Champion. He's an interim champion right now.
No, I don't care. That's not a championship. You cannot say an interim belt is a championship when you ain't giving Tank Davis credit for having the WBA quote unquote regular belt.
That's what the belt is called. The regular belt.
Okay, so you can't give him credit for an interim belt if you ain't giving Tank Davis credit for his belt.
Well, so you still let me ask you this.
Lesser than what Tank got.
So you giving Abdul Wahid credit for being a 3-division champion?
Yes, I do.
Why are you calling that man Abdul Wahid?
That's what it says on his resume. Tank Davis is a 3-division champion, a 5-time champion. That's what it says on his resume. So yes, I do give him credit because the sanctioning body gives him credit. So I'm gonna give him credit for it.
Okay. I mean, I feel what you're saying. The reason of being in, whether you agree with it or not, the reason I don't call Lou Alcindor, I'll call him Kareem Abdul-Jabbar because he changed his name. The reason I don't call Muhammad Ali Cassius Clay is because he changed his name. I think that's really dope that he had a spiritual real awakening and decided to make his name Islamic name. I think it's dope. That's why, because I think it's a dope. I think it's a dope story. I think for a guy like Abdul Wahid, known as Javante Davis, to come from Baltimore, all the little things he went through, become a champion, to find Islam, change his life, and do some great things, man. I love it.
He didn't change his name.
He called himself that though.
He didn't change his name. He just said his Muslim name is Abdul Wahid. He said his Muslim name is Abdul Wahid. He didn't change his name. He didn't go like Muhammad Ali went and changed his name on his birth certificate. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar went and changed his name on his birth certificate. Tank Davis didn't change his name on his birth certificate. He just said, that's my Muslim name.
Okay, well, I didn't know that. Well, that's the first time I heard that. I didn't know that. So
That's why they still call him Javante Tank Davis because he didn't change his name. They still call him. Everybody that's in his camp.
I'm just trying to be respectful to the man's religion. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, he called himself Tank Davis.
I mean, you remember like when my man Saad Muhammad changed his name. It's just I'm just trying to be respectful, man. I like that when those boxers do that.
Well,
Yeah, that's his
when
Muslim name. When he's practicing his religion, he goes by Abdul Wahid when he's practicing his religion. But when he's boxing, he is Tank Davis.
Because I heard him on the interview with Big Boy, and Big Boy called him Abdul the whole interview. So I didn't know.
He ain't gonna say nothing about it because that's his Muslim name.
Oh, so then I wasn't wrong then.
I didn't say. I'm just saying he didn't change his name. His name is Javante Tank Davis. He didn't change his name. He just has a Muslim name because he's practicing the Muslim religion.
He said a channel called him his Muslim name, and Tank told him he gonna smack him. I didn't know he said that about smacking nobody. That's crazy.
I don't know about that.
He don't go by that name, bro. Yeah, he don't go by that name at all, man. And let me say this here. Back to you, BVO. I ain't done with that Virgil Ortiz shit. Why don't,
Go ahead.
just like my man Bentley called it out, why don't Virgil Ortiz go fight Terrence Bud Crawford? That's the fight. That's the fight we should be trying to push right there. And and allow.
Came up there.
Guess what? Both of them right now are settled in that particular division, 154. I wouldn't suggest that Boots go up and immediately fight any Virgil Ortiz anyway. You got to settle into a division, man, and then go for the champions, go for whoever. But at the end of the day, Terrence is settled. Virgil Ortiz had 3 fights already in 154, so he's definitely settled. He should fight Terrence Bud Crawford. But guess what? He's the one that's ducking somebody. He's ducking Bud. So every time somebody tell me that Boots is ducking Virgil Ortiz, I'm gonna come in the comments or whatever and say Virgil Ortiz is ducking Bud. That's a fact.
That's an absolute fact because like even BBO said, Virgil was the number 1 in the WBO. Virgil, quote unquote, didn't activate his mandatory.
No, he turned the fight down. They gave him opportunity to take the fight.
I know. He's been a duck. He's been a duck his entire career.
I don't know about him being a duck, but
Yeah, he's ducking, dog, and we giving him, and all of a sudden now we highlighting this dude talking about somebody in a division weight, a division lower than his is ducking him. Nah, it's bullshit. Put that damn spotlight back on his ass. He's the one ducking. He's ducking Bud. He need to fight dudes in his division. And just like I said a little while ago, if he's ducking, we need to call a whole bunch of other champions ducks that are not fighting guys in a higher category. Because you said it yourself, this person went up 2 or 3 weight classes to fight this person. Well, then automatically, if a bigger guy is calling a smaller guy, that means the smaller guy don't want him. That means automatically he's ducking. You can't do that, bro. Unfair.
You remember when Floyd was at 135 calling out Oscar De La Hoya, and he was at 54, I believe. He called him out. He called out Terrell Gotti.
Floyd called out Oscar, not Oscar called out Floyd.
No, you missing what I'm saying. What I'm saying is,
Thank you. You said it.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
You said it. You said it. You said it. You said it correctly the first time. The smaller dude called out the big dude.
The bigger guy.
Yeah.
Now, when a smaller dude calls out the bigger guy,
he asking for it.
That's the smaller dude moving up. It's not. It's not. It's just like y'all claim that Tank Davis brought up Lamont Roach from a smaller weight class. Now all of a sudden, it ain't the same when Virgil trying to bring up Jerome Business from the smaller weight class. It's not the same. That's exactly the same. It's exactly the same.
You talking about 7 pounds, dog?
Dog, it's exactly the same. Jerome Business is at 47. Virgil Ortiz is at 54. That's 7 pounds. Lamont Roach is at 30. Tank Davis at 35. That's 5 pounds. Everybody got on Tank Davis for calling up small Lamont Roach. He's bringing up a guy from a smaller weight class, but I don't hear that same energy for Virgil calling for Jerome Business from the smaller weight class. I don't see that same energy.
I'll say this, man. I
told y'all don't keep it consistent. That's why y'all can't fuck with me on this. Y'all don't keep it consistent.
You got him choked up.
Hold on, my man said Oscar is soft. Now green light. Nah, that's too far, bro. Oscar is one of the greatest fighters to ever live, bro. We're not gonna sit here and talk no crazy stuff about Oscar, man.
No,
He,
it's chasing greatness when the smaller guy is calling out the bigger guy. It's not chasing greatness when the bigger guy is calling out the smaller guy. That's not chasing greatness.
Oscar, I'm gonna tell you a secret, Green. Like Oscar beat Floyd. They robbed Oscar in that fight. And if
Oh
you
my
look,
God.
let me finish real quick, and I'm gonna let you go. If you look at the end of the interview, the great Floyd Mayweather Sr. said, "I thought Oscar won." That's what he said. I thought Oscar won.
So,
That's what his dad said. I mean,
so his dad was also bitter about the argument and the beef that he had with his own son. Of course, he's gonna think that Oscar one day was going through some turmoil between the two. Of course, he's gonna
I
want
watched
Oscar to beat his son. His son just kicked him out of his own gym. His son just said, "I don't want nothing to do with you."
Yeah, I just watched that fight. I watched that fight, bro, numerous times. And Oscar was throwing a whole bunch of just haymakers, fighting to win. He was not hitting Floyd. He was not landing, bro. Come on now.
Oh, basically what he was doing, he was doing the same thing that Williams Zapata was doing to Tevin Farmer, and BBO say Tevin Farmer won that fight. He's basically doing the same thing. That's what you're telling me, BBO.
I'm a free.
Use his own shit on him, bro.
That's
He indicting that dude on his own shit.
He was doing the same thing that Williams Zapata was doing to Tevin Farmer, and Tevin Farmer was doing the same thing that Floyd did to Oscar.
He didn't knock Oscar down.
No, he didn't knock Oscar down, but he beat Oscar. He beat Oscar. He beat Oscar every single round. He beat Oscar.
Yeah, Oscar was just swinging, bro. He was just letting his hands go. He wasn't landing shit, bro. I watched that. It's one of those fights I watched and watched and watched. Because it's a very amusing fight,
you
bro.
You see how it always comes full circle, BBO?
I'm
Got him on his own shit, bro.
Oh, I'm set it up. Hey, me and BNN and Puerto Rican Free, we're gonna watch the Oscar versus Floyd fight live on the channel, and we're gonna judge it round. That's what we're gonna do. We're not gonna do all this capping.
Look what D1 just said. D1, look what D1 just said.
We can do as much as we want.
Girl, LOL. I don't know. I'll put it like this, man. I don't know where the stuff about Oscar's personal life matters. I mean, he's a freak, bro. He's not the first freak. I mean, he's a freak, bro. It is what it is. I'm talking about him as a boxer. I don't care about him as a person. He's a freak. I mean, it is what it is. Tooth, my man Mike Garner, he said Oscar brought Floyd Sr. to camp for that fight. He was mad at Floyd and getting paid by Oscar.
Facts.
Now, you don't know that to be true. Did you see the bank
We
statement?
do know that to be true.
Come on, man.
No, it's all documented. We know that to be absolutely true.
He said Floyd was the trainer for that fight. He offered him double his normal pay, and he wouldn't take the fight.
Yes, and we also know that Floyd kicked his father out of the gym. They had a big argument. He kicked him out of the gym, and they was beefing at that time. They wasn't speaking. They wasn't seeing each other. None of that. All this is documented. This ain't something we're making up. It's documented.
I'll put it like this, man. And then I get you got backup this time with being in, but I got to be honest with you, man. We seen TF dominate Zapata. We did not see Floyd dominate no Oscar De La Hoya, bro.
Yes,
Oscar
we did.
Swinging. He had to throw at least 1,000 punches. I got to look that up. He might have threw maybe 1,000 punches, bro.
Yes, he looked exactly like Williams Zapata versus Tevin Farmer. He did.
Tevin Farmer beat the dog crap out of
him. So did Floyd. Floyd beat the dog pound out of Oscar.
Yes, you're saying the same thing he's saying, bro. Listen to what you're saying.
The same thing I'm saying.
You're agreeing with him.
Exactly like Tevin Farmer versus Williams Zapata. The fight looked exactly the same.
Yeah,
the only difference was Oscar didn't get dropped. That's the only difference. It looked exactly the same. The only difference was Oscar didn't get dropped.
So you said Floyd walking down Oscar and all that?
Yes, he did.
Nah, that didn't happen.
At points in that fight, he walked Oscar down, but he outboxed Oscar the entire fight. At times in that fight, he walked towards Oscar. That's called walking him down. You walk towards him, and they got their high guard up.
Floyd did that real sparingly, and that fight. Most of it, he was just on the ropes rolling, or he was in the center of the ring rolling. But I don't think he was walking Oscar down. Like he wasn't
I'm
trying to
not
put no power on
not the
Oscar.
entire fight. It was times in the fight where Floyd was moving forward and Oscar was moving back. That's called walking them down. That's called walking them
I
down.
guess.
When you got the high guard up, you moving forward and your fighter and your opponent is backing up. That's called walking them down. And I didn't say he did it the entire fight. There were times in the fight where he did do it. Go back and look at the fight. There were times when Floyd was walking Oscar down.
I feel what you're saying to an extent. I'm just going off my man BN talking about, oh, that's the same as TF versus Zepeda. No, he outclassed Zepeda. I don't know what y'all was watching, bro.
No, Floyd outclassed Oscar. What are you watching? Maybe
Nope.
you need to go back and watch the fight again because obviously you missed something. You missed that whole fight. I think you went to the bathroom and missed the fight or something. I don't know. You might have been cooking dinner for the family or whatever, but you missed the entire fight because Floyd outclassed Oscar that fight. Oscar threw a bunch of punches and was not landing. He threw roughly 1,000 punches, like you said, and he landed probably somewhere. Perfect scenario. He threw way more punches than Floyd, landed at a lesser ratio than Floyd landed. He might have landed lesser punches than Floyd. I can't remember the exact number. He might have landed lesser punches than Floyd.
He said Floyd barely beat Oscar. I had it as a draw. I can respect that. I could see a draw, but to say he outclassed in the way Zepeda, the way TF did Zepeda, they robbed TF.
Matter of fact, let me pull it up.
I'll put it like this. We seen Tevin Farmer go in there, dominate Ray Mack. Then he went in there and dominated Zepeda, and he didn't get either decision. I thought that was total BS.
Dominated.
Go ahead.
He didn't dominate either of those guys. Like I give Tevin Farmer credit. They were great performances. And he went in there and shocked me against Murataya. And then Zepeda, I thought he was going to get stopped in the 4th round. So I give him a lot of credit. But you saying it like they put on these masterclass, like he put on these masterclass performances. Like they were good fights. What Floyd did to Oscar, you could consider that a masterclass performance because even though I scored the fight 8-4, a lot of that was Floyd kind of just making it look good. Like he would just be on the ropes cheesing, and I guess he would lose rounds because of that. But that I can't compare that to what Tevin Farmer has been doing recently. Those were good fights, BBO.
Yeah, he said power punches. Oscar landed 23, Floyd landed 54.
But I know Oscar threw a lot of no, actually. That was a big thing. They said Oscar wasn't using his jab in that fight, so I don't know.
He didn't use his jab at all in that fight.
Because he was getting beat up. You can't jab when you're getting beat up.
I don't think he was getting beat up though, freak.
Oscar was fighting.
He was getting beat up.
Oscar was getting beat up, right? He was thrown to the wind, my brother.
He was getting beat up. I don't know what y'all was watching. Oscar was getting beat up.
He was throwing, he was missing, and Floyd was countering the shit out of him, bro. He was getting countered like a bro.
I don't know what y'all was. He was getting beat up. That's why he wasn't throwing it because he came out and he threw a jab and Floyd countered him. He said, "I'm not throwing that jab again."
Yeah, Floyd was countering the shit out of him, but dude was just throwing to the wind. Now, if you one of those judges, if you judge fights by how much a man just throwing, letting his hands go regardless of landing, if that's how you judge fights, yeah, Oscar won. But was Oscar landing anything? He was pity-patting the man when he did land. He wasn't throwing shit. He was just letting his hands go. He was trying to confuse the judges. That's how he was trying to win that fight. But that shit didn't work, bro. Floyd clearly beat him.
I don't disagree.
I was an Oscar De La Hoya fan back then, bro.
I was too.
So that's if I could come on here and tell y'all that Oscar lost,
and I told BBO that. I told BBO
Oscar,
for a long time. I was an Oscar De La Hoya fan for a long time.
Yeah, bro. I was Oscar Trinidad, bro. I was an Oscar fan back then, bro. And that's when I was like, shit, this nigga Floyd the real deal.
I'll say this, man. I'll say this. Because if we go by y'all logic, that's the reason why Sugar Ray Leonard beat Hagler, because he threw a bunch of flurries. It wasn't Chucky Leonard the most
It
afflicted.
is, but Sugar Ray Leonard was landing punches at the end. When the last minute to 30 seconds of that fight, Sugar Ray Leonard was throwing a flurry to leaving a lasting impression in the judge's mind. But the difference between Sugar Ray Leonard and Oscar was Sugar Ray Leonard was landing his flurries. Oscar wasn't landing his flurries.
Yeah, Floyd was blocking a lot of that shit with his forearms and his shoulders. A lot of that shit wasn't landing flush. It wasn't landing on Floyd's face, bro. Floyd was blocking that shit, bro. You got to look at that shit again and you'll see. I'm telling you, it's one of those fights, man. If you was at the fight, you would have clearly saw that Oscar won because all you saw, because when you at a fight, all you see is this man throwing his hands. But when you watch that shit and you look at it on TV and you see what's going on, you be like, oh no, it's a masterclass boxing by Floyd Mayweather, bro. Masterclass, bro.
I was a little bit younger at that time. You went to that fight?
Yeah, I went there with my people.
Yeah, I didn't go. I was like 17 back then. I didn't go to that fight. But I'll say this. I can agree. I'm actually looking at the punch stats. It just looked like Oscar threw a bunch, man. That's what I'm saying. It looked like he threw a bunch. If he threw this much, he should have won. They just able to fight the potato like that.
I keep agreeing
How
with
much
you
did
on
he
that.
land?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to tell you. Oh, I don't.
It was 35% to 25% on punches landed. Oscar threw 340 more punches than him. But it looks like Floyd landed more power shots. I think it's 54 to 23. Yeah. Well, I gotta watch the fight again. If I'm looking at the stats, I would say Floyd won, but I gotta go off what his dad said. His dad said he didn't win. So,
I mean, him and his dad were into it at the time, BVO.
BVO knows that, bro.
Hold on, bro. You can't get into it with your dad, man. We all had disagreements with our dad.
No, he knows that.
That don't mean nothing.
No. But I'm going back to the original thing. You cannot say a man is ducking somebody when he's not even in the weight class. Like I said, the man had already said, I'm a unify the belts. If I can't unify the belts, then I will go to 54. We already heard Brian Norman Sr. come on our channel and say the next fight they want is Jerron Boots Ennis. We already know that Bozy and Jerron said they want to unify the titles. So if that's the fight they want and they want to unify the titles, let's push that fight. I'm not worried about him going to the next weight class unless he cannot unify the title. I don't want him fighting anybody else at 47. I only want him fighting the champions. If he can't get the champions at 47, he needs to go to 54. I've been said that. If he can't get the champions at 47,
Cobb a shot?
Huh?
I think he should. You think he should get Blair Cobb a shot?
No. The only people that has a shot with Jerron Boots Ennis at this point in time in his career are the other champions. He don't need to fight anybody else in that weight class unless they throw a mandatory in the mix. If it's not a mandatory that he has to fight and then the champion right after that, no, he don't need to fight nobody else. He only needs to fight the champions. And like I said, unless the IBF throw a mandatory in the mix. Because we already know how the IBF move. They're going to enforce their mandatory. They don't care what you got lined up. So unless the IBF throws a mandatory in the mix, he only needs to fight the champions. If he can't get those, take your ass to 54.
Straight like that.
There's nothing else need to be said about that.
Yeah, I mean, ain't nothing else to say. We didn't see him fight enough of the regular guys that he fought. He fought 32 regular guys.
We all tired of all of them doing that. So we all want to see them fight somebody. I don't want to say
we're
what
putting that
Jerron
microscope on Boots right now, though.
No, that man has fought. He done fought 32 or 33 regular guys. He don't need to fight no more regular guys.
I agree. I 100% agree with that. It's no cut and slice. There's nothing you can say, nothing you can do. We are all tired of seeing him fight these regular guys. We want to see him step it up, and for him not to. And then he said he wanted to take people at 54, and but then when they get the Virgil Ortiz fight on the table, it's like I don't know. I don't have no explanation for that. Is it business? I don't know. It's a duck. I don't know what to call this. I have to sit and wait.
No, it's not.
You can't hear me?
One of them. What it is He already gave you what he was going to do. Why we can't just hold a man to his word? Just hold him to his word.
Right.
He gave you what he was going to do. He's going to fight the champions and unify the belts. If I can't unify the belts, then I will go to 54. I mean, we held Earl Spence to his word. Why we can't hold him to his word?
Yeah, I agree.
He paid to lie, free. Like my man Shinga said, he's paid to lie. That's why.
Hey, I mean, like I said, until he show us something otherwise, I'm gonna hold him to his word. He said he's going for the unification. If I can't get the unification, then I'm going to 54. So
All right. So if he doesn't get the unification in his next fight, my thing is this: why turn down a big fight? I think I get it, but it does. What does he have? The WBC? What belt does he have?
he has the
IBF.
IBF.
The IBF won't allow him to go make a move at 54 and come back, right? They're kind of strict, right?
Hell no, they're gonna strip the hell out of his ass.
Mm,
Hell
Maybe if
no.
he had the WBO or the WBC, he could probably talk to them like, "Listen, I just want to take this, come right back," woo, woo, like that. But I don't understand why he's not
No,
taking this
I don't.
Virgil Ortiz
I'm gonna
fight.
tell.
I
I'm
want
gonna
to
tell you.
know. I want to hear what his explanation is. Him and Eddie. What are y'all explanations for not taking it? Are you going to go for Brian Norman
I
Jr.
already
next?
told you what his explanation. Bozy already said it. We're not moving to 54 unless we can't unify. I mean, he said we're not going to 54 unless we cannot unify. We want to
Why did he
unify the belt
say? Why did he say he should go to 54 next? Because he felt sluggish or whatever. Or with the Karen guy. What was he talking about? After that fight, what was he talking about in that post interview, ring interview?
I didn't hear what he said in the post conference interview.
He
I didn't
said,
hear
"I
what he
don't
said.
know. I felt kind of what he say. I felt sluggish or tired or something. Man, I don't know. Maybe I should go to 54." That's what he said. Like he wasn't sure about welterweight. That's the way he was talking.
Well, he said maybe he should. He didn't say he was. He said maybe he should.
Yeah, I
He
mean,
didn't say
why
he
is he
was
talking like that?
because he felt sluggish in the fight. He
That's
said
what
maybe
that goes back to my question. Do you like why not take the Virgil Ortiz fight?
because if you got a unification right there staring you in the face, and that's your goal, that's always been your goal is to be undisputed at 47. Why you skip over that goal to go fight somebody who does not have a belt, who's never fought for a championship?
For a big payday.
Who's to say it's a big payday? We believe
Wasn't
it could
it
be.
had to been if Turkey was involved, right?
No, it doesn't have to be.
No, I'm saying wasn't Turkey Al Sheikh involved?
I don't know, but it doesn't. That doesn't mean it has to be a big payday.
I think he probably would have benefited a nice payday,
Because
probably the biggest purse that he ever had. Either one of
it,
them.
it might be. We don't know.
I'm pretty sure it would have been.
That's what you believe, but you don't know if it would have been.
You
You
don't
don't
think
know. That's
that
what
would
you
have been
believe.
if them two would have
I'm not going
locked
to say
up?
that. I'm not going to say that it
You don't
would.
think
It
that would
wouldn't
have
be.
been both of their biggest paydays free? Come on now.
I'm not going to say that it would or it wouldn't. We don't know. We don't know what the offer is going to be for Brian Norman and Jerome Boots Ennis for unification. We don't know what the
That's
offer
a
is going
little
to be.
bit different. I think Virgil Ortiz versus Boots Ennis is a bigger fight than Brian, with all due respect. Because I rock with Brian Norman. Both hit the father and son. So
It's a
but
bigger fight based off of what?
I mean I just think like if you put that kind of fight in Dallas or Vegas
No,
somewhere,
no,
I
no.
think
I'm saying it's a bigger fight based off of what?
based off of its race, to be honest. You have a
Yeah,
No,
black
race,
fighter fighting
you're
a
race
talking
Spanish
versus
about
fighter.
black.
you talking about the numbers being a bigger fight.
The number I'm talking about the money, the gate, everything all around the board is
But
just a bigger fight.
they're not the mandatory. I mean, they're not the main event. That was on a 5-on-5. They wasn't gonna be the main event.
I still think it would have been a
So
big
they're not getting
payday.
the main event money.
I
They're not
think
gonna
they
be
would
the
have.
main
I
event.
think Turkey Al Sheikh would have made it both worth their while.
You don't know. You
I
don't
mean, he
know.
made everybody else's money worth their while. I mean, what was that one? We was looking at them purses that one night. He was giving guys nobody heard of big money. He was
Yeah,
like, damn.
that was a while ago. He cut away from that. He ain't been giving the niggas the big ass purses no more. He cut away from that
How much did Bivol and didn't we do this already?
because the Bud Crawford fight, that wasn't his biggest purse that he got.
Well, Earl Spence was his biggest purse.
No, I mean it wasn't even bigger than the David Avenija fight.
I mean, I don't know how much Terrence made off of that. I mean, some people.
According to the numbers that they put out, he made $10 million in the David Avenija fight.
I don't believe that.
I don't care what you believe. I'm going by what they said. He made $10 million
I
off of
don't, and like you
the
don't
David
care what I
Avenija
said. I
fight.
don't care what they said. I don't believe
I,
that.
it doesn't matter because you don't know the numbers, so you can't say that he didn't get it.
You don't know the
I'm going
number
by
is,
what
so
they.
you can't.
I'm going
You
by
don't know
what
the
they. I
numbers
just
either,
said.
so you can't say what I'm
telling
saying
you.
is wrong.
What I'm telling you is I'm going by what they said. The people that's
Right, and
in that
like what
camp.
you just said that you
The
don't care what
people
I said. I feel the same
because
way
you're
to
not
them.
in
I
that
don't
camp.
care what they said.
No, you're not in their camp.
Neither are you, Free. When the
That's
hell
why
you
I'm
been to
going
their
by the
camp?
people that's in the camp. I'm not going by what
Man,
I
I don't give
believe.
a damn who in the. He ain't
I'm
getting no
not going
10
what
mil
I
for that.
believe. I'm
That's
going by
cap.
what they said. You're
That's
going by
cap.
what you believe. I'm going by what they actually said.
That's cap.
That's
It'd be a lot of
that's
cap
two
in
different
boxing.
things.
Boxing
It's
has
two
got is the biggest cap,
it's two different things.
biggest cap going on in out of all the sports is in boxing.
Whether it's cap or not, I'm just going by what Bud Crawford said out of his own mouth. I got $10 million for David Avenija. That's what Bud said. That's his paycheck. He knows what he got. He knows what he didn't get.
Well,
He said he got $10 million for David Avenija.
well, Free, that was that was from when he was still with Top Rank. He did get that, bro. Every fight he got that. So that was just what it is. That was his pay. That was his contract with Top Rank. So that's definitely a fact.
My bad.
That's what he said he got.
Somebody called me. I got a phone call. My bad.
Yeah, that's his contract was $10 million for David Avenija. That's not what I said. That's what his
I gotta
contract
find
was.
my other iPhone so I can look this stuff up. I don't believe they. I
I'm
remember
not
that. I
going off of
remember
what
they
I
were
believe. I'm
saying.
going off
I
what they
remember
said.
when people was saying how they was getting pissed off because he was taking the fight. Because he wasn't fighting Earl, and everybody's like, "Oh, he's fighting Avocado." Woo woo woo. And
Yeah,
then Blue Blood was talking about $10 million. People was slinging $10 million around, but I mean, I guess nobody would know, if he got it or not.
that's why I said I could only go by what the fighter said. He said his contract was
I
for
just
$10
don't.
million. I
I just
got my
don't
money.
believe him. I just don't believe it. We need more
I,
people. That's just me though.
no, I'm just telling you that's probably why daggone BLK Prime is no longer in business because they paid him $10 million and they ain't get that investment back. They didn't get the money back for that investment. That's probably why they no longer in the boxing business
Oh, yeah,
because they paid him $10 million.
yeah, Michael Gardner. I heard something like that too. I heard he got 5. I heard they was talking about 10. Like that to me, that was like one of them football contracts when they said, "Oh, $100 million, but 40's guaranteed, and you got to make the other 60 up or something like that." You know what I'm saying? I heard some. I heard 5. I heard 2. I was hearing all kind of numbers. I heard 10. I'm not gonna act like I didn't.
I'm just like I said, I'm going by what that man said. He said my
I heard him
contract
say it.
was for $10 million. I got my money. That's what he said. And then Adrian Boner was on there and on Blue Blood channel, and they asked Adrian Boner. He was like, "Hey, that money over there, BOK Prime is good." He said, "Well, Bud told me it was good. I didn't get mine yet, but Bud got his." So he's the second person that vouched that Bud got his money.
Yeah,
So
but
I'm
I
only going
mean,
by what they say.
they said it, but I mean, I find that hard to believe that Avocado.
I mean, whether you believe it or not, I'm just going by what they say. But what
Right,
I'm
look
saying
that
is
up.
that fight that he put on with Magnumov
I'll say this though, Freak. I've never heard of
wasn't
Blue
bigger than
Blood.
that.
I've never heard of this guy, but he seems to be a liar. So I just say that he seems like
Who?
he's a liar. So I could go off that too.
Who?
The guy Blue Blood you were talking about, I never heard
I
of
ain't
him.
talking about what Blue Blood said. I'm talking about what Bud said.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say anything that come out of that dude
I'm
has
saying
to be a lie.
they was on his channel doing an interview with Adrian Boner, and he asked Adrian Boner about the money. He's like, "Well, Bud got his money. I ain't get mine yet." He said, "But Bud told me it's good."
Yeah, I didn't see that interview, but
Because they
I'm
were
not.
trying
I'm
to
not
pump
saying
up.
that he
They
did.
were trying to pump up BLK Prime, and he was like, "That money good over there, BLK Prime." He was like, "Well, Bud got his money. He said it's good. I ain't get mine yet, but
Yeah,
Bud
they
said it was
ran out
good."
of money. Bud took all the money, man. They ran out of money
That's what
after
I'm saying.
Bud, man.
That's probably why they not in business because they paid Bud $10 million and they didn't get that. They didn't get that return in their investment. They didn't get the return in their investment.
Yeah, damn. Shout out BLK Prime for
But
trying.
all I'm saying is that Magnumov fight wasn't more than the David Avenija fight. It was the same amount. It wasn't more. So he's not necessarily giving guys their biggest purse they ever seen. He gives some guys their biggest purse they ever seen, but not everybody. That's the only point that I'm making. He gives some people, not everybody. So because according to Shakur, his biggest purse was $6 million when we know that's not true though. His biggest purse I think was like 3 something, but he said his biggest purse was $6 million. Well, he was about to fight Joe Cordina for 5. So if his biggest purse was 6, he's about to fight Joe Cordina for 5.
Well, I ain't mad at that. You know, get your money.
So like I said, I don't know if
Salute
it's
to my
going to
brother
be
Mike
their
Rim.
biggest,
Mike
their
Rim.
biggest
Salute to
purse.
Mike Rim.
I don't
First
know
time
if
in
it's going to
the
be their biggest purse because we know Jerron Business got $3 million for that fight with David Avenesian, a 3 point something like that. I'm not sure that I think he got somewhere around 2 for this current fight, or 1 point something. I forgot what he got for this fight. I think it was like 2 or 1 point something. But we know for the David Avenesian, he got like 3 something. So I don't know if he was going to get more than $3 million for the Virgil Ortiz because they wasn't the main event. So I don't know how much he was going to get. You can believe he's going to get more money for the Virgil Ortiz, but we don't know. Like I said, I don't know how much he's going to get for the Brian Norman. I don't know. I can't say what the money going to be until the money is there. I don't know what these investors are going to invest in the fight. They might see more potential in the Brian Norman versus Boots for the unification. They might say it's more money in that fight. We don't know. Now,
Yeah.
if Virgil and Boots is a main event and they on pay-per-view, then yeah, they probably will get bigger purses for that because it's a pay-per-view and people probably going to buy that fight.
Yeah, I mean, I still think that it's a bigger fight with Virgil. I feel like he got a bigger fan base.
I mean, yeah, he definitely got a bigger fan base.
And I feel like Brian Norman Jr. is on a come up. We had Brian Norman Sr. on the show, and he basically said, yeah, he want that fight next, you know?
Yeah, that's what I said. He
So
said he wants to fight next. So
I'm
that's a
okay with that.
unification.
I'm okay.
Yo, hold on 1 second, y'all. Shout out to my man Mike Rim. Mike Rim showing up in the BBO boxing doghouse community.
What's going
Man.
on, Mike
Salute,
Rim?
man. Welcome, man.
Salute, welcome.
What's up, Mike?
Smash the like for us one time for the one time. But
Oh,
no,
yeah.
like I said, I'm okay with if Boots say people's all mad at Boots because he doesn't fight Virgil right now, and then Brian Norman does his job like we all expect him to do, and then they make that fight next. I'm okay with Boots not fighting Virgil right now. As long as he take a unification next, I'm okay with it. So I don't want to just throw him away like everybody's calling him a duck. I see all around the community that he's a duck, goose. People turning their back on him, and I just,
That's because people throw the duck scenario out there way too easy.
too
Like
easy.
I said, that the man is not even at 54, and y'all saying he's ducking already. He's not even at 54. He's at 47. The man said he wants to unify the belts at 47. If he can't get the unification, then he can go to 54. Once he gets to 54, if he fights some run-of-the-mill fighter other than Virgil, then you can call him a duck. But until he gets to 54, I'm not calling that man no duck if he's fighting another champion. I'm not calling him no duck. Then I got to call everybody else a duck that does the same thing. And I'm not doing that because it's not a duck.
Let me say this real quick, and I'll tell you why I said it. Because I don't believe the fact that he wasn't aware of they was trying to be in negotiations to setting up the fight. Now I listened to the whole thing, but come on, man. You're gonna be pretty aware, even if you haven't made the decision yet to exactly what you was gonna do. So that's why I said that, not because of anything else, because that sound kind of sus to me. You're a fighter. You gonna know something. Ain't nobody just gonna be doing some sneak, and not let you know. Who does that? I mean, so that's why I said that. But other than that, no, because I think he was aware of it. You know what I mean? So he kind of made it little suspect by saying that. So I called him what he said.
But what's the point in going through sitting down having negotiations when there's an opportunity for you to fight for unification, which is your goal to become undisputed at 47? You already heard that the other champion said they want to fight you next. Why would you sit down with somebody else to make a fight in a whole nother weight class that going to take you out of your own weight class? It's going to take you out of your weight class. So you sit down and make a fight with Virgil Ortiz, and y'all agree to have a fight, and then Brian Norman presents an opportunity for you to unify, you're going to cancel the fight with Virgil, or you're going to take the fight with Virgil?
Like exactly. What sense does that make? What sense does that make? You gonna take a highly risk fight for nothing and skip over a belt at your weight class? Come on, fellas, let's make some sense of that.
Yeah,
No,
that's
Yeah,
yeah.
Brian Norman's gonna
I hear
stop
all
Boots,
that, right?
bro.
I hear all
Brian
that.
Norman's gonna stop Boots.
But if that's the case, see, I'm only going off the last thing he said. He didn't say that in the last thing he said. I mean, so if that's the case, you should have responded in that way instead of responding in a different way to make you look suspect, even if you're not being suspect. That's what I'm saying. I have no disagreement with what y'all saying, but I'm going off the very last thing he said. And he should have said that's what he had going on. I don't know this and I don't know what I'm doing, when you actually knew you're about to fight for a belt. So if he already knew he's about to fight for a belt, then why would you say I don't know what I'm doing when you know you're about to fight for a belt?
No, he don't know if that fight is going to go through, but he's not going to lock himself into another contract when there's possibly an opportunity for him to unify. Because we heard Brian Norman Sr. say they want that fight next. That fight is not presented right now because Brian Norman is hurt right now. We have to wait for him to get back. But Jerron just got out of a fight. So why lock yourself into another fight? Why lock yourself into another fight when there's an opportunity that can be right there for you to unify? That's what you said you want to do. You said, I want to get the belts at 47. If I can't get the belts at 47, then I will go to 54. Why lock yourself into 54 and cancel out the opportunity of getting a unification?
I get that. Everything that y'all saying, I'm agreeing with it. But the problem is that y'all saying that he didn't say it. That's the problem.
Listen, I didn't say that he said it. What I'm saying is that's why he said, I don't know what I'm doing yet. Because he don't know if that opportunity is going to present itself. He know that's what Brian Norman Sr. said, but he don't know if that opportunity, he's keeping himself open. So if that opportunity does present itself, he can take that opportunity. If it doesn't, he can go to 54. Virgil Ortiz ain't going nowhere. He ain't going to 60. He's right there at 54. He ain't got no fight lined up. If he got a fight lined up, okay, I'll sit right here, fight, and wait for your fight to free up.
You want mute, D3. You want mute.
Lock yourself down to a fight when you don't know if an opportunity is going to present itself. We already heard Brian Norman Sr. say they want that fight next. We saw the fight that he had with Kern. We want that fight next.
All right, well, that's what he want next. That's what he want next.
Yeah, so that was my thing where I didn't want to because people use duck so loosely. So I didn't want to. I got to sit back and wait for a little bit before I call somebody a duck, unless it's something like what Canelo doing or something like what Canelo did. Now that's ducking. You know what I mean? That's just flat out ducking.
If he go to
Canelo's
54,
never duck.
Yeah, if he go to 54 and he bypass Virgil Ortiz and fight Brian Castillo, then I can say, oh yeah, that man ducked Virgil. He ducked Virgil because Brian Castillo ain't fought, what's the name? Is it Castillo? Castano. Brian Castano hasn't fought in like 2-3 years. If he go try to fight him, then you be like, yeah, he ducked Virgil.
Yeah.
Now if he does something like that, then yeah, he's a duck. Because Virgil already said they want the fight. They already try to make that fight. We know that fight is there waiting for you. So if you go to 54 and you're not fighting a champion and you fight some run-of-the-mill fighter at 54 instead of fighting Virgil, yeah, you duck that man. I'm going to be the first one to say you ducked him.
Yeah, and I'm going to back you up on it too, D3.
I'm not. I just got to keep it consistent because I do it for everybody. I'm not going to sit here and say this man ducking because he want to do what he said he was going to do and unify the titles at 47. Then in that case, I would have to go back on everything I said and call Earl Spencer duck. You duck Bud all this time, even though we knew what Earl said he was going to do. Earl said, I'm going to get all these belts. When I'm done getting these belts, then I'm going to fight Bud last.
Mm-hmm. That's what he did. Win, lose, or draw.
Doing everything he said he was going to do. Then I got to go back and say, no, but Earl duck Bud all this time. So
Earl did exactly what he said he was going to do. He was going to collect all the belts and take your ish last. That's what he said.
I got to hold
him up a little short, but nevertheless, he still was a man of his word.
But the difference in that, D3, Earl always said he wanted to do that. You know what I'm saying? So that's a little different, but I don't want to spend all this shit on I get the point on Boots in this. How do y'all feel about my man Sonny getting the son set into retirement? God damn. You know, I ain't think he was gonna retire. Everybody said, what's his Sonny do next? Well, we already know what Sonny decided to do. He's going to retire. Probably the best thing for him. I don't know. But
Definitely the best thing for him.
yeah, probably so. He got smashed on. I didn't expect it to end that early, but I did predict him to lose because I seen Yafe fight a couple times. So yeah, it is what it is, man.
Salute the homie Ben Israel too.
What up, Ben? Yes, but
Yeah, Earl did duck Bud all this time because you see he got knocked out. He probably knew that the whole time.
Oh, come on, bro.
Yeah, you
And I
bugging.
love
You,
Earl. I love Earl. But he
Hey,
probably never wanted that fight because that was a tough fight.
he definitely wanted to fight. If he didn't want to fight, he would have just not took the fight. He would
Why
have
you make him wait all that time? Shoot to my brother Skywalker.
because he had an agenda and he had a promise that he made to himself and his fans. He's going to collect all the belts, do all the business, make the fights easy because he knew that was going to be a grueling negotiation. So that way, make it worth something. Everybody pirated the damn fight. I'm surprised they didn't do at least 1 million, but but again,
a lot of Bud fans did that.
yeah, that's crazy.
No, that's real.
Yeah, I mean, the Bud fans are, that whole thing, man, was just a strange thing to me because it's like you had a bunch of channels fighting, you had a bunch of upset people because of two men that's gonna fight, and I was just like, why can't I rock with both of them? So I used to just sit back and just watch everybody fuss and look stupid.
Hey,
I mean,
man.
you got niggas that name they channel after the fight, like these
Yeah,
niggas is weird.
I don't get into none of that, man. I ain't even gonna speak on that. How I feel about,
Good
people
Greg,
go as far as worshiping and all that. So I'm gonna let them do that. I
right?
don't want to be worshiping no human being, but I'm gonna let people be them. So I ain't gonna even get into that, man. But it's how it is, man. It's how it is.
Yeah, I wonder what happened to that dude that had that channel called Easy Route Spence.
He got easy routed out. I guess.
I mean,
I don't know.
I shared some game. One of my OGs on YouTube told me, and I got to work on this myself. We got to be neutral, man, because a lot of these fighters get emotional. We got to be neutral. So
You
that's
ain't
why
got. You just got to be fair all the way around the board.
that's why you see BBO not. That's why you see BBO kind of stuck in the middle, because hey, you got to be neutral, man.
That's how I am. That's how I'm gonna stay.
Well, I'll say this though: the whole thing is this. How come more people don't say that Earl was ducking but all this time after the performance that he put on? What you
Because he
think,
wasn't
being here?
ducking. He wasn't ducking, my brother. I mean, the
I
man
don't think he
told
was either, but
everybody
I'm saying the
exactly
way he
what.
got beat up. I'm saying the way he
No,
got beat
regardless
up,
of
it
how he
seemed
got
like
beat
it.
up, you
Huh?
have to value him, bro, because he told us everything he was going to do, and that man stuck to the script, regardless of retina surgery, regardless of his car accident. He did everything he said he was going to do. And at the end of the day, he even took less money to make that fight happen. He ain't had to do that shit. He could have just said, if he thought that Bud was going to beat his ass, and he didn't have faith in himself, he could have just said, you know what, fuck it. It ain't going to work itself
But keep
because
it pushing, right?
keep it pushing. That
Hey,
dude even
Ben, I
took
gotta give
money.
you credit,
Bud,
boy. You can cuss, man. I didn't know you could cuss like that. That boy
man,
Ben can
I'm,
cuss, man.
hey, I'm a tone it down. But like I said, even Bud say that I take my hat off to Spence. Because Spence basically made it happen. Them two dudes got on the phone and they made it happen, bro. Themselves. And Spence's team didn't want that fight. They didn't want that to happen. They didn't want it to go in the way that it went. But Spence kept it pushing. He was a man of his word. And that's why I still to this day, I'm definitely a supporter of Spence. But
Always.
That's just what it is, man.
You think Spence's team is not that they didn't want him to take the fight? I figured they wanted him to move out of welterweight. I feel like he stayed around welterweight a little too long.
It's
That
a
fight
fact.
should have that fight probably should have taken place at 54. And Earl Spence looked completely out of the fight. While coming into the fight, his eyes, they didn't look, his face, everything about Earl Spence just looked wrong. And I don't care what nobody say. I'm not making up any excuse for him. Terrence won the fight fair and square. He signed the contract. He got in there. He paid the price. But I'm just telling about what my eyes saw. I didn't see a regular Earl Spence, the one that was fighting, um, you know, Danny Garcia and them. Not even that version of Earl Spence I didn't see. So I'm just going by what I saw.
Yeah, nah, I'm with you, man. I mean, I hear all the high altitude stuff, everything that's supposedly happening. At the end of the day, I'm just looking at it. And this man gave us his word. He stuck to his word, and
So you
me as
can't be mad
support.
at him for taking the beating. You know what I mean?
Hell nah, bro. But you know why? Because us as supporters and fans, when we ask for a fight or we call a fight, this is what we asking for. He gave us just that. We begged for that fight for years, and they gave it to us, man. So regardless of who lost, as supporters, all of us are winners. Although I was depressed and sick for 3 months after that, I ain't gonna lie, that fight hurt me, bro. That's why
Yeah.
I said I'm not putting myself into no fighters like that. I don't give a damn about no more fighters, bro. Hell with that. First it was Tyson, then it was Errol Spence. Now I'm done with that, bro.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It wasn't easy to watch.
No, it wasn't.
Hell, I wouldn't want to see Bud get whooped like that either.
No, I wouldn't. Me either. I like both, bro. I like all of them, bro. Just
Me
like I
too.
said,
Shoot
even
my
with
man
Devin
Bruce
Haney, I know
Gas.
Devin Haney. A lot of people don't like Devin, but I like Devin, man. I like them all, bro. I
I
just
rock
me.
with Devin.
Let me do this real quick, man. I want to give a big shout out to my brother X. I'm gonna play the brand new BBO boxing intro. I don't know if you guys seen it. I'm gonna play it. Shout out to my man X, man, for putting this together for me, man. And you can't do nothing but say thank you, man. Appreciate you, bro.
Ladies and gentlemen, hailing from Cleveland, Ohio, I give you BBO.
Oh, we boxing? Yeah, we boxing. I need that belt like it ain't no other option. So we punching and weaving and blocking. Defeat ain't an option. Let them know. Shoot a video, put it on BVO. Let them know. Every time I punch, it's a heavy blow. BVO. Bound to hit like bricks cause it was set in stone. Let them know. I ain't getting body, but I'ma hit this flow. Yeah, way more than a show. This is BVO.
Tremendous work by my man X. And for all those who asked me, yes, I got that coward Teofimo Lopez out of my intro. That's why we had to change the intro, man.
You got Logan, you got Paul in there, man. You got Jake Paul in there. What the hell?
You from
Ain't no
Cleveland?
little
Yeah.
boxer.
He from
Crazy.
Cleveland. He ain't no daggone. He a promoter. He ain't no boxer.
Man, fighting you retired UFC fighter, a 58-year-old Mike Tyson, and get him on out of there, bro. You was doing. I was liking it until I seen that part.
I'm from Cleveland, man. What you expect? I gotta support the hometown.
I don't see you have Al Heyman in there.
Huh?
You had Al Heyman in there?
Him ain't no fighter.
Al Heyman ain't, yeah, but Don King ain't no fighter neither.
No, Don King's a fighter. You just didn't hear about him. I should have put Al in there. I didn't think about putting Al in there. Because people wouldn't know who he was anyway. He put him in there.
Yeah, I agree with the brother Mike in the chat. Yeah, I feel like they kept Earl around at welterweight a little too long for my liking. And anybody that's a fan of Earl Spence is gonna feel like that too. I don't feel like it was a fair fight. I don't care what nobody say. I'm a Bud fan too. I just felt like that Earl looked like he was out of it. He was out of space somewhere. And Bud came in looking laser focused, laser sharp, and Bud Crawford put on one of my favorite performances in that fight. Terrence did. But Earl didn't look right, and I don't think I don't know, bro. He's trying to. He ain't been active, and he trying to jump in there with Fondors, and I think he needs to take a little easy, not an easy one, but take a nice fight at 54 and go from there, bro. I don't think he should jump in there with a champion unification. I don't think that's smart, bro. When fighters sit out that long, that's one of the fighters' worst nightmare, inactivity. Then they come in there, now they inactive. They come in there and get smoked. You know, people got pissed off at Terrence Crawford for taking that avocado fight, but Terrence knew what he was doing. He was not finna be rusty like that. Terrence got a fight in, and it showed up. He wasn't rusty, but when he fought Majimov, he was out of the ring for a while, right? And didn't he look a little rusty in that fight? He looked a little rusty to me. You know what I mean? So again, inactivity is just bad business for me.
No, I think Majimov. Nobody looks good against them Russian dudes. I don't care who it is. Nobody looks good against them guys.
They tough, man.
I mean, I'll put it like this, man. The boxing world is missing Errol Spence, but I think it's over for him, man. He didn't just took too much punishment, man. I mean, I watched him on a training session. He looks real wobbly, man. But I appreciate everything he did for the sport. I'll tell you that. He's been a great, great champion, people's champion. I'll put him up there with anybody. He's one of the best welterweights to ever live, in my opinion. I think he finished though, man. And I would hate to see him get taken out the ring on a stretcher, man. He looked bad in his training. Have y'all seen them training videos he's been putting out?
I seen a couple of them, but I mean, he looks in shape.
But I'm talking about, you see his movements. His movement is
Nah, I haven't really checked out any of his training videos, but I mean, like I seen a couple of Instagram videos. He was like chilling with Frank Martin or whatever. You know, they looked he looked in shape.
I mean,
Like,
he don't be in shape. I'm just saying.
yeah, I know it's a different kind of in shape. I know.
I mean, it's a dude who probably is eating right and stuff, man. So he gonna be in shape.
Yeah, I get it. You're 100% right, bro. Like any other sport, like you can have your body and you can be in shape, but like, and you play football, it's like BVO, you play football, but it's a difference for being in shape, but then in football shape. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The only person I ever heard of being in football shape who hadn't played was Antonio Brown, and that's rare. Antonio Brown and Jerry Rice were guys who could get in shape without playing the sport. But if you see Errol, yeah, he looks good. He looks in shape. But I'm gonna be like this, man. Dude, he's not gonna beat no Fedor. I think Fedor's gonna hurt him bad, and I don't think he's gonna take it easy on him. That's the scary part for me. I mean,
I agree with you, BV. I don't want to see him in there with Fedor right away. But I mean, when the last time Fedor fight? D Freeze good with that stuff. When's the last time Fedor had a fight? He's been a little inactive since his big win.
Last time he had a fight was when he fought
Zoo, right?
Zoo.
Yeah, that wasn't that long ago, right? Some months.
That was the past summer.
Okay, so he's been a little inactive, but not as inactive as Errol Spence, bro.
I mean, I don't want to see. I love Errol, man. I don't want to talk down on Errol, man. So
we're not talking down on him. We just keeping it real. We care about Errol.
Hey, how you say that? Free? Completely what?
Completely done.
Done.
Yeah, completely done, man. He's done. He's up there with my boy Water, man. It's a wrap. He gonna keep playing around. One of these young boys gonna hurt him bad, man. Trying to make a name. Y'all remember how Errol beat Chris Algieri? Well, you never seen Chris Algieri get beat to death like that.
Yep.
Coming up. His turn is coming. If he keep fighting, his turn is coming. He gonna get beat to death. If he keep fighting, man. Well, my grandma used to tell me, this ain't no game. This ain't no game, y'all. But on that note, I think we got a meeting. Oh, shit, I think I'm late for the meeting. My bad. It's your boy BVO Boxing. We're going to be back tonight for the GP and BVO show. I heard my man D Free is going to stop through. I don't know if he will. But check us out. Check out our shorts. Check out the channel. We're trying to get the 5,000 for the end of the year. And if we do get it, I'm going to get something away. It's your boy BVO Boxing, and we gone. Peace.
Peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, hailing from Cleveland, Ohio, I give you BVO.
Let's see. Oh, we boxing? Yeah, we boxing. I need that belt like it ain't no other option. So we punching and weaving and blocking. Defeat ain't an option. Let them know, shoot a video, put it on BVO. Let them know, every time I punch, it's a heavy blow. BVO, bound to hit like bricks cause it was set in stone. Let them know, I ain't getting body, but I'ma hit this flow. Yeah, way more than a show, this is BVO.